Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneur Show. What do we have this week, Brian?
Hey, Rosh, happy to be here. We are two creative guys talking AI. And actually, Rosh, this last week I've been working a lot. I've
That's
um I've
good.
really I've really been working, and I'm amazed as to how much AI is integrating itself into my workflow. So I
Yeah.
have a really good example of taking an old school program we've been using for 20 plus years, Microsoft Excel,
Hmm.
and how to introduce AI into your workflow to make you much more capable with Excel.
Nice.
And then also my go-to video editing program that was always one that was kind of ahead of the curve in terms of its how well you could use it. It's called Wondershare Filmora.
Yep.
And I feel like every time I log into it, I get bombarded with new updates. And these latest couple have been big, have been whoppers. They've been real big ones, integrating AI into so kind of shutting down my or abbreviating my workflow by integrating AI right into Wondershare. So I'm excited to talk about all the different ways that is. And
Nice.
then also lastly, what did you do when ChatGPT went down this week?
Just like everybody else, panicked.
Yep. And then went to
Stopped
Gemini.
working, took some time off,
Yeah.
did
I,
things with my kids, just things that I
right.
normally don't do. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we had Facebook and ChatGPT go down at the same time, so we took a snow day.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
So,
tragic.
right. What do you have going on this week?
Well, it has been a busy week, and I have to admit to you, Brian, I'm overwhelmed.
Oh,
More has happened in this last week than that I could keep up with. And
okay.
so I'm going to go through what I can today. There is some big stuff happening. And I've tried new things with AI. And I, just like you, want to share some of that because
Cool.
there's some nice, insightful information. So, all right, here we go. What do you got?
Very good. All right. So AI and using Microsoft Excel. So I consider myself an Excel, yeah, in the middle of the road kind of guy. I'm gonna
Sure.
get crazy into the weeds with formulas, but I certainly know how to use them. So I'm the vice president of my BNI group, as you know, as
Mhm.
you are no longer, and now I am in separate groups, but still. So I wanted to motivate the group to have a lot of referrals and a lot of one-to-ones logged. So I developed a contest to keep everyone, kind of honest on this. What I did was three different ways to earn points. So try to do this as quick as possible. Most referrals, boom, the person who has the most gets 100 points. Everyone else is set on a curve based on their performance.
All right.
The next caveat was most improved referrals. So I took an average of how many referrals they did per month the first 11 months of the year and
Okay.
compared it to this last month of how many they've done. For example, if somebody gives four referrals a month and they're at eight referrals this month, they're at a 200% improvement. And the
Okay.
person with the highest percentage improvement gets 100 points again.
Nice.
Last section was the most one-to-ones, which is, that hour-long meeting
Yeah.
connecting with people. We as a leadership really feel that referrals and one-to-ones are the lifeblood of BNI, the most important thing. So I said, all right, I want to do a contest with this, and I really don't want to work that hard at keeping track of this contest. I realized once I set out the rules that, hey, this is kind of complex. So, in the BNI system, I can export all of our stats through an Excel sheet. So I made it so I took all the members of the group and I was able to take their referrals, their one-to-ones, and just copy and paste from my monthly reports or weekly reports. And what I did was I got to a point where I was like, all right, I need to calculate, the person who's that got the most, I need them to have 100 points. And then I need it to break down based on that curved scale based on that. And yes, Rosh, this is something I could have probably accomplished before, with 2 to 4 hours worth of Googling and
Right.
YouTube and tutorials in Excel. But instead, I just said to ChatGPT, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you give me a formula that's going to work for this? And it said, hey, yeah, absolutely. Let's assume that it was sell this through this. And
Hmm.
boom, it outputted me a perfect formula for what I was looking for.
Nice.
And yeah, and then I said, okay, cool. Update this formula based on cells F7 through G73, where it's, this a bit of information and that it did it, took it, took that information, updated the formula perfectly. So, like the letters and numbers that are next to the dollar symbol in there to make sure they're not, all those things were in there perfect. All right, cool. So I thought that was like a pretty cool task for it. That worked great. All right, now I started to get a little complex. I got towards the end and I have 73 members in my group. I wanted to then have a live dynamic Excel sheet that would update the rankings of people based on their total points. And I wanted this to be dynamic when as soon as I pasted in their quantity of referrals and one-to-ones, I wanted this chart on the side to update just based on the information I'm putting in. I didn't want it to do any more work besides paste in my updated numbers. And it did it flawlessly with formulas that I have never even heard of in there before, sorting ones like this.
Yeah.
But then I ran into one more roadblock, Rosh. So say the bottom 20 members in the group after 1 week worth of stats had 0 points.
Right.
And it came up with an error of, numbers 55 through 73. So then I said, all right, I want to add one more caveat to this. If in the case of a tie, I want you to rank them based upon the alphabetical standing of their first letter, their last name.
Okay. So
Right.
that
And it did it flawlessly.
nice. Okay,
It
good.
knocked it out of the park. And I'm like, I was like, all right, you did good. Let's get a little better. Let's get a little better. Let's get a little more in
Yeah.
the weeds. And I created this in 20 minutes, what would have before been 4 to 5 hours worth of work. And you've been on BNI leadership. Sometimes
Yep.
the work feels thankless.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to cut it down, to 20% of the time was a huge win using AI. Now, have you used it for Excel formulas before?
Yeah, well, I've used it on Excel a few times. Usually it's Google Sheets.
Hmm.
And I like to pull
Right,
in
right.
APIs from Google Sheets. I have a new financial API that I work with,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm able to pull that right into Google Sheets. But I have many of the formulas that
Hmm.
and many of the kind of sorting and kind of unique things that I didn't even know existed. I
Right,
found, a few years ago when I was really starting my some of my side projects, I really relied heavily on what ChatGPT knew at the time to help
right.
me figure this stuff out, and it has been amazing. And to your point, and this is what I think people need to do. You mapped out what happens, and I just having gone through this so many times, when you have an idea, don't try to get the AI to do it all at once.
Right.
Take the basic idea, give it that, and then build off of it.
Mhm.
And it's a step by step by step. Because if you say do all this, they will mess up. They
Right.
will they will combine things that shouldn't be combined, and they will do things that shouldn't be done. And you
Right.
may get wrong answers. So start with a simple that leads you in the direction, then add on. So that
Yeah.
was great.
Great AI output is never going to be just the push of a button and you get something. You've got to lead it along the trail and be smart enough to know what it is you're looking for to ask it as you lead it along.
Right. I mean, you can have really highly detailed prompts, but the more you put in there, there's probably more blank space in there, you think
Mhm.
sometimes. And so then there's more locations for guessing on the AI's part and more opportunity to mess up.
Right.
I mean, we talk about more detailed prompts in general, but for some things, it's better to start simple. Yeah. Very good.
All right. Passing it back your way. Absolutely. It's been a busy week.
Oh my
Enlighten us.
goodness. So we had hinted about this last week, and that was the announcement of Sora, which
Yeah.
of course, not long after that, they started cutting back to what you have access to. I did a video over at Creative Entrepreneur Show on YouTube, and
Hmm.
I was unable to use one of the tools that I think is really important, which we'll talk about. I'm actually going to do. I'm not even going to mention. I'm going to talk about it in the next video, and it's a helpful tool that can help you extend videos and so forth. But anyway, the point being is I couldn't use it because the load on the system was so high.
Oh, wow. It wasn't because they were trying to push you to the 200 a month, was it?
No, no, I don't think
Okay.
so, but maybe you never know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't long after that we had our chat GPT, down for 3 hours. The world's on fire. We're all panicking because nobody can get any work done.
Right.
And I think I that was anyway. Sora was a big one. Canvas for everyone. Yay.
Hmm.
That's really nice. Vo AI voice with video. So this hasn't rolled out onto my phone yet. A lot of this stuff hasn't because I think the load, they're so ambitious. Didn't realize how many people were interested in Sora, and that slowed everything down. So again, they started taking features away, and that's kind of what happened there. And then they lowered the number of seconds and so forth. But with each of these new releases, it's just more and more taxing on the system because everybody wants to try it. And the new AI with voice It's has one annoying element. They also launched Santa mode, so I wasn't.
Hey.
It keeps going to Santa mode, and it's okay. It's fun the first time, but
Right.
every time you go there, it's not. Santa mode isn't my favorite, but with video, you can actually show. For example, turn on video, and there'll be a little video button. You just click on that, and it'll open up your video and you can look around and you can talk with chat GPT about your environment or say hello to this person. Hey, what kind of hat is my friend wearing? Things like that. Just real interaction. And so that was pretty cool. Or what's this in front of me? And have a conversation. So that's pretty cool. So there's another one coming today. We're 8 days in out of the 12, so we have a little bit more to go. We'll
Okay.
see what happens. I have more to share, but the other ones are for other platforms. So let's throw it back to you, and I'll share the rest of my list in the second part.
All right, awesome. Yeah, and anyone who just listens, to our podcast know that on our YouTube page, we're going to be sharing a lot more content. So things, like this 12 days of ChatGPT coming up, we're going to keep sharing, all those updates and stuff. So please pop on over to YouTube and give us a follow there. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Hey, have you used any of these since the
No.
launch? Have you had a chance?
Um, I have experienced more frustrations with ChatGPT in this last week than ever, to where I'm kind of mad at it right now. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so I've tried a couple things to only realize that my account was either the system was having an issue, or they were trying to push me to the 200 a month, or I hit my limit, whatever it was. So I will check back on that gladly.
Yep. That's
So,
that's the
all
kind of
right.
week we're having. All right. What do you
Yes.
got?
Yes. So, all right. So, moving down the rabbit hole a little bit here. When I video edit, there's this wonderful program called Wondershare. It's called Wondershare Filmora. That's the whole name of the program.
Hmm.
Um, and it's one of those first ones that like really had really cool title screens and transitions, and it was so intuitive how to use it and everything. But the AI tools that they have just integrated into this program are amazing. So, it does have the full image to video. It has audio to video, and it has the ability to take, and this is going to help me a lot because I've been doing a lot of multi-camera interviews
Mm.
where you can grab the same multiple clips of the exact same thing being shot, and the AI will detect them and put them all together and line them up perfectly to where you can just be in the director's chair and choose which clip
Right.
you want to use as it
That's
goes
very
through.
helpful.
Extremely helpful, because I used to actually have to go old school with the director board with the
Right. Clap.
sound,
Yeah.
with the clap, so that way you can match up that audio clap in the wave file, to make sure your clips are exactly on, and you get it as close as you can. But this AI technology is actually getting it like right there. It's also got the ability to take a horizontal shot, and say there's a motorcycle in this horizontal shot, and it
Yep.
starts over here in the shot and then it moves across the screen.
Right.
It's got the ability to, the AI can grab the vertical shot of it and
Hmm.
follow it on the screen in one clip, instead of frame by frame having to move your crop.
Right. Right.
So it's able to detect, where the actual action is in the shot, and move with it. Also, it's been able to go through and take a longer shot and get highlights out of it, to which actually I think we're going to benefit down the road, to
Hmm.
where we can take the output of our show, put it into this program, and get some short clips for reels of some of the highlights of the show.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, so all these AI kind of technologies and things that we've been talking about, are now, it's now trying to improve our workflow. Instead of having to bounce from program to program to program, it's all getting integrated into these programs like this. It also has instant translation. So
Mm.
you produce a video in English, you could just press a button and put it into 25 other languages, and it's actually getting to the point where it will move the mouth to make it look like it's speaking the other languages.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes.
that's very cool.
Now, some of
Yeah.
the demos I saw of it, it's getting there. You can see some blurriness around the mouth and stuff
Sure.
like that. And the image to video, what you could do is grab like two people in a scene, and then it gives you like six prompts of things that are like set up, whether it be like a kiss or a fight or an argument, or these different kind of interactions that you can have them do. Or you can click a button that says customize, and then you can do your prompt to add whatever. And like one of the examples, they had just a picture of a cat and they animated the cat to be walking. So it's very much like your example, but
Right.
then to be illuminated with a blue lightning strike that, went through the whole thing.
Right.
But it was really cool and I thought it looked really good. And I don't have to spend my credits on Runway to go and then animate some things in my other program. And, I don't have to be opening multiple programs to do this. So
Yeah.
it's really helping my workflow.
Yeah, the thing is, AI will be expected.
Yeah. Right.
We're really getting to the point of, okay, here's a tool. Where's the AI? Where
Yeah.
how to help me through this? And I think we are we're really there. We've been talking about this for quite a while, a year and a half on this show. And I think now we're getting to the point of what we've been talking about the first show, just at the beginning. And now it's going to be soon, again, in your toaster.
Well,
And
I love that you just said that because I even noted it right here. It's not might not be in the toaster yet, but it's definitely in the dishwasher that my brother and I installed for my mom and
nice,
stepdad this weekend. Because
nice.
we're putting the dishwasher in, we plug it in, and my stepdad's there looking through the manual, reading every page like he does, and he's like, "Come on, I gotta hook this thing up to my phone. I gotta, do this or that." And I was like, "Yeah, there's actually a sensor in there that determines how dirty the water is coming out of the dishwasher and how much longer it needs to clean for."
Wow. Wow,
So,
that's amazing.
and that's why they're saying, like with these new smart appliances, like you don't put your dishes in the dishwasher rinsed or cleaned. You got to put them in dirty so then the dishwasher knows to do the work.
Yeah, right. Wow. That is
So,
amazing. And it
not
is
in your toaster, but it's in your dishwasher, buddy.
it's in the dishwasher.
So, all right, throwing it back your way. You said you tried some new things
Yeah,
this
new
week.
stuff. And
Yeah, what do you
I
got?
got to tell you, this is the other point too, where we thought Google was going to be a dominant player, and everybody, especially this last year, has been saying, "Where's Google?
Yeah.
What are they doing? I mean, how come they're not here?" And bam, they're here. And I think Google is going to start to move forward at a fast clip. Um, I have to tell you that the Gemini 2.0 came out
Mhm.
and it is really good. And not only that, I started just chatting with the 1.5. I can't chat with 2.0, but I can chat with 1.5. And that conversation was a many times more enjoyable than ChatGPT's
Whoa.
voice, in my opinion. It was smoother, it was better, and I really would enjoy it. And interestingly enough, I started saying, "Hey, could you run a simulation for me?" And it started doing some simulation stuff that was pretty accurate overall in terms of the conclusions. I was quizzing like, "Are you really getting real data for this?" And this, and it was saying yes, and I think it was right because later on, it was shut down.
I'm concerned you're building your own matrix and you're planning on
Yeah.
enslaving the human race. No, this isn't what you're doing on your side projects.
So yeah, it was some of the things I was able to do during that first conversation, I was unable to do later.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Oh,
they maybe throttled me because
you're on a list now. All right.
yeah, I tend to end up on these lists,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, there's so many. The voice conversation is really good, and I'm sure they're going to have the video just like Chat GPT will. Um, but there's they also released a couple other things. They also did you hear about their quantum chip?
I did.
Yeah,
I've read some different things too that are pretty insane about this. But even
yeah,
have you seen
yeah.
the big giant cappuccino machine looking thing to keep it cool?
Yeah.
It's literally the coldest thing in the universe.
Really? Really?
Yes.
I did
Yeah.
not read that about it. I did get to, talk about the 500 qubit in the
Mhm.
idea of that the error rate coming down, as well as, you know, being able to take a problem. Now, this was in lab environment, so we have to put that asterisk there, but it has to be in lab environment right now.
Right.
But 10 sextillion or something like that is basically 10 with 25 zeros
Oh
is how
wow.
long it would take the smartest computer we have right now to figure out the problem they fed it. And it solved it in 5 minutes. That means the things we can solve as we build these things out is going to be amazing. And they start talking multi-universe and multiverse and so
Hmm.
forth about it
That's
really going out. And
right.
so I've been, I mean, what are your thoughts about that? I mean,
I mean, the whole quantum world, I mean, it might be that next step of, human evolution that we're kind of waiting on getting to make things outside of the realm of possibility right now possible. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
becoming more than hypothetical, which is insane.
you and I had a hypothetical conversation early in the show about having an AI as an assistant,
Mhm.
bring the AI on the show. Well, there's an update on our favorite little notebook LM, which allows you to join their show. So you can join the AI show
Yeah,
with the new update. So I thought that was pretty amazing, kind of the reverse of what we were thinking. But
right.
if you think about it, that's pretty darn cool to
Yeah.
be able to get involved, put up information, and then maybe
See,
talk
yeah.
with the panel there and see what they think, and have them. I'm looking forward to testing this out because I think this could be really pretty cool. Let me throw out one last thing.
Yes.
Twitter's or X, Grok, is that how Grok? Is
Grok,
that
I think
Grok? Yeah,
GROK. Yeah.
available to everybody.
Okay.
Their image generator what was available and then not available. It's going back and forth. It still may be available, but maybe there's an update that became available by accident. But anyway, the Grok is available to everyone now. I'm exhausted. That is just the tip of what has happened over the last week and will continue throughout the new year. But there is one really special, amazing thing that's going to be happening and rocking the AI world. Why don't you share what that is?
Well, we've got everybody. Are you sitting down? Okay, good, good, good. Well, we've got a big update for the show. We are gonna take the esteemed name Creative Entrepreneur Show and chop it down a little bit to get a little more to the point of where what we're talking about weekly. So we're gonna change the name of the show to the Creative AI Show. And we're going to take a couple weeks off here before the new show. We're going to start in the new year, but we are going to still keep populating our YouTube channel with a whole bunch of new clips and information. And anything else you want to speak to that, Rosh? It was your
Yeah,
show, your baby.
even
How are you
better,
feeling?
I made a commitment that I'm going to regret week 2 of the new year. And that is that we'll start uploading a YouTube video every single day
Whew.
for at least the year 2025. Do we
All right.
continue from there? We'll see. We shall see. Now, one will be populated by the new Creative AI show, which is not so new. It's just really a name change and a more even focusing even more. It's for creatives. It's about AI and how two creative guys use AI, and that's really important. But
Yes.
then I think and quite honestly, when I was doing this, I did a test video with Sora and it brought up a number of topics that we could have talked about. I just didn't have time to go through it today, but it will help generate more conversation for the creatives as we show and have demonstrations of the various creative video tools and text tools and so forth. What are your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to be sharing a little more of our workflow rather than just talking about it. There's more to showing than talking. And yeah, I think it really helps direct the show. And also, if somebody's just kind of scrolling through podcasts and stuff, it helps direct them to where we are definitely going to be talking about AI and its integration.
Yeah,
And I think people are really thirsty for that knowledge. So we're going to keep giving it to them.
absolutely. So into 2025, we will still be two creative guys talking AI, just giving you more. And I'm really looking forward to it. You enjoy your 2 weeks off, Brian. I
You
think it'll be well deserved, and we'll be ready to kick off the new year.
Absolutely. I hope everyone has a very happy holiday and a happy new year.